Hey guys, it's me, Jem, and we have another video for today. So, it is episode 6 of Jem at the Movies, where I take a look at some movies and TV series, either recent or old but gold. So, today we're taking a look at a really cool action movie with a very interesting story. Today's episode is Wanted. It was released in 2008 and stars James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie, and Morgan Freeman, and a lesser known Chris Pratt at that time. This movie is based off of a comic book written by Mark Miller and J.G. Jones. So, first, let's talk about James McAvoy. This is the first James McAvoy movie that I watched. Um, Before we knew him as Professor X in X-Men and also in the movie Split. James McAvoy is a brilliant actor with a lot of range, and he's shown that in a challenging role like the one in Split. And I think he deserves more interesting film roles. So in Wanted, he did his role really well, going from a loser with a repetitive life to training to become a deadly assassin. So next up is Angelina Jolie. So we know her in film roles like Maleficent, Salt, and of course Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. So even in this movie, she is a total badass. So in Wanted, she plays a beautiful assassin named Fox who guides Wesley to becoming or training to become an assassin. And of course, we have Morgan Freeman. Of course, everybody loves Morgan Freeman. The voice, the look. So in this movie, he plays Sloane, the leader of the fraternity that gives out killing orders. And of course, we get a glimpse at a young Chris Pratt. I mean, I didn't even know that Chris Pratt was in this movie until he got popular with his role in Guardians of the Galaxy. So in this movie, he plays Barry, Wesley's friend that is his office mate and is always having sex with Wesley's girlfriend. So one thing you'll notice about this movie is its excellent gunfight choreography. I'm a big fan of gunfights in movies. So in this movie, there are a lot of exaggerated precision gunfights. The gunfight scenes are like edge of your seat, mind blowing. The soundtrack of this movie is also amazing. It fits the scenes really well. The main theme song of the movie is a song called The Little Things, which is composed and sung by Danny Elfman. And it features a really cool guitar riff. It's very recognizable. Once you hear it, you know it's from the movie Wanted. There's also another track in the movie called Every Day Is Exactly the Same by Nine Inch Nails. It very much describes Wesley's boring office life very accurately. So the story of this movie is really interesting. The movie opens by saying that 1,000 years ago there was like a clan of weavers and they discovered a code in the fabric. So the code in the fabric tells them that there are certain people who have to die before they can commit a crime. And then these weavers became assassins and they called themselves the Fraternity. Enter Wesley Gibson, a young professional who works in an office as an account manager who absolutely hates his job and his boss. He thinks he's getting anxiety attacks and he takes prescription medicine. And he talks about how his life is just a repetitive bunch of nonsense that he just can't seem to get away from. So one night in a convenience store, Wesley meets Fox, who seems like she's protecting him from a guy that looks like he's trying to kill Wesley. So the gunfight turns into a car chase, and the next morning, Wesley wakes up and he meets a guy named Sloan, who tells him that Wesley is the son of an assassin in the fraternity. So Wesley is shook and he doesn't believe it. And then Sloan asks him to shoot the wings off the fly. And he gets an explanation that he really isn't experiencing any anxiety attacks. Rather, his heart is beating much faster and that he can see things in slow motion, which is a gift that not many people have. He's also told that he inherited a lot of money from his father. All of this is too much to process for Wesley, and he just goes back to his normal job. Unable to handle his obnoxious boss, Wesley explodes in anger and walks out of the building. Wesley decides to go with Fox to pursue his assassin training. So at the beginning of his training, Wesley meets a group of guys named the Repairman, the Gunsmith, and the Butcher. And the Repairman and the Butcher were not giving him an easy time. So Sloan tells Wesley that his father was killed by an assassin that went rogue in the fraternity, and that he has to train really, really hard before he can face this rogue assassin named Cross. Sloan also tells Wesley about the Loom of Fate, which gives out names of people they have to kill. In his first mission, Wesley fails to kill his target. Fox tells him about her father, who was killed by a murderer who was supposed to be killed by a member of the fraternity, but also failed. She also tells him that they have to kill the people whose names were given out by the Loom before they can commit the crime. So one night Wesley encounters Cross and he shoots Exterminator by mistake, and he also gets shot by Cross. Fox and Repairman try to save Exterminator, but it was too late. So Wesley removes the bullet casing from his arm and he takes the special bullet to Sloan, believing that Cross is trying to lure him. So he goes to the place where the fraternity was born, and Sloan asks Fox to follow him. So Wesley traces the bullet back to a man named Peckwarsky, who was a friend of Cross, and he tells him that he will arrange for a meeting with Cross. So Wesley and Cross have an encounter in the train, and this is the part where I told you there are some really awesome gunfights in this movie. They're trying to shoot each other, but they're just hitting each other's bullet. So Wesley is in a situation where he's hanging on to Cross's arm, and he pulls out a gun and he shoots Cross. And then he tells Wesley that he is his son, and is later confirmed by Fox. They both fall into the river, and Wesley is rescued by Peckwarsky. And he tells him that Sloan had been making his own targets when he found out that his name had come up in the Loom. Peckwarsky also tells Wesley that his father had wanted a different life for him. He didn't want Wesley to follow in his footsteps. Cross found out and he went rogue and started killing all the assassins in the fraternity to save Wesley. So Wesley decides to attack the fraternity base with a truck full of rat bombs. So Wesley powers himself through the base, shooting every assassin that comes at him. until he arrives at Sloane's office, where he is surrounded by Fox, Gunsmith, and all the other remaining assassins, including Sloane. So Wesley tells them that Sloane had been deceiving them, and Sloane tells them that all of their names had come up on the loom, and they have a choice to either kill themselves or kill Wesley and become the powerful assassins that they were meant to be. So Fox curves a bullet around the remaining assassins and kills them, including herself, and she throws her gun at Wesley. So, in conclusion, I think Wanted is one of the best action movies in existence. Although, when you think about it, this movie ended in a very tragic way. If only Wesley had known from the start, he could have saved his father, and they could have had a much happier ending. After 12 years and still without a sequel, I think that it should remain that way. I think it's one of those movies that doesn't need a sequel, but if James McAvoy is up to it, then I will probably watch it. I think what makes this movie so good is that mix of a great story with a twist in the end, and of course, good, nice action sequences, nice gunfights, and of course, a great casting in Morgan Freeman and Angelina Jolie. So that is it for my movie review today, guys. If you like this video, please like this video and subscribe, and I will see you on our next video. Bye bye.